Hello and welcome. Today we're going to take a look at Thomson Reuters Eikon and Thomson Reuters data stream and look at how you can download data to Excel. So the first thing you want to do is head to Thomson Reuters page for Eikon, and you want to log in with the login IDs distributed. When you log in for the first time, you want to accept the terms and policies, and you will come to this page. At this page, you will choose your primary location, and then you will be able to download the Eikon software right here. And you can also access the Eikon web program for all the Mac users, since the Eikon software is PC only, sadly. So once you have downloaded Thomson Reuters Eikon to your computer, you should be able to go straight into Microsoft Excel in order to add the add-ins into Excel. So what you want to do is you want to go to File, then you want to go to Options, then this page will pop up. Then you want to go into Add-ins, you want to go down to Manage, Com Add-ins, press Go. Then you should be able to see Thomson Reuters Eikon for Microsoft Office right here. You want to check this box. Now mine is already checked because I already got the add-ins installed on my computer, but you want to check this box, then you want to press OK. Then you might need to restart your Microsoft Excel in order to get working. But hopefully now you should have this icon appearing up here saying Thomson Reuters once you have restarted your Microsoft Excel. So you want to go to this button right here. And what you want to do now is that you want to log in. And you can see mine says offline since I've been logged out. So you want to press this button right here. This page is going to come up and it's going to say that my account is already logged in, which is true because the account is logged into the web where I have downloaded Thomson Reuters just now. So you want to press sign in. And we're going to see here that it says connecting. So we're going to wait. And there we go. Now it says online. So that means that you're all logged in to Thomson Reuters Eikon and it's ready to use. Now, in order to get access to Thomson Reuters data stream, the button that I have right up here, you want to go to add-ons under the Thomson Reuters button. You want to press it. And you're going to see these are going to say installing or something like that. Now, I already got mine installed. That's why they're not installing and I can only press disable. So these are going to install, and once they're all installed, you want to close down this box and you want to restart Microsoft Excel. And when you have restarted Microsoft Excel, you should be able to see this button right up here that says Thomson Reuters Data Stream. And this is where we will do the majority of our time series work from now on. All right, so once you have Thomson Reuters Data Stream installed and all ready to use, we can start to have a look at how to download our first time series data. So once you hit this button right here, Thomson Reuters Data Stream, you want to go to time series request. So press this button right here and this dialog box comes up. So let's start with something simple. You want to start by pressing find series. And now this might look a little jarring at first, but I promise you that you will learn how to use this quite quickly. So let's start by typing in OMXS30, for example. Press search. And you can see that we get several options here, but I want to use the equity index in the Swedish market. So I want to press this box right here, and it's now marked. And you can see up here my selections that I have one equity selected. So let's say that this is the only one I want to use for now. I will press my selections. I'm going to mark this one right here and return all selections. Now you can see that the series/list that I've selected is the Swedish OMXS30. And this is the code that it gets in Eikon. So our second chore now is to select which type of data we want from this time series. So we want to go ahead and press data types. And these you see right here are the most common ones. I have searched for price on equity indices, which this is, so it's quite correct. But here you will find many different options of data that you want. For example, exchange rates or futures, economical variables, etc., such as GDP and so forth. But let's say that we want to use a price index, just regular daily price. So let's use this one. We can press it to see how they have calculated it. But it says right here, this is the default data type for equity indices. So this sounds good for me. So I'm going to press this button again. I'm going to go up to my selections, go to market, return all selections. So here we go. Now I have my data type selected. So now I want to select which time frame I want. So as you can see here, I have already put in a start and end date. Now this is very handy because now I can use this button right here to select start date in the Excel spreadsheet. So I will do just that. So I'm going to select the start here, press OK. I'm going to select the end date, press OK. We can also choose the frequency right here, but I'm going to go ahead and choose daily. Now this is all default. You can keep it. Sometimes I like to add that you can display currency, for example, if you have stocks from different countries, for example. But let's just do this right now for demonstration purposes. So I have selected this cell here in Excel, and this is where it's going to start. So you do want to select a good spot for everything to be plotted. So now we're going to go ahead and press submit. And there we go. So we can see that we've gotten the dates that I have selected. If I scroll down, exactly. So the 1st of January 2020 right there, which was the end date that I selected. And here we have the price index for the OMXS 30. And this data is now ready to be interpreted and analyzed. Right, so we have successfully downloaded our first time series with the help of the time series request tool in Thomson Reuters data stream in Excel. So now let's say that your group wants to edit the data that you have downloaded. Then you want to press this button right, or this cell, I should say, right here, where you originally plotted all the data. And it's important that you press the cell where you originally plotted the data and not any other cell, because this cell is linked to the request. So you want to place the cursor and press here in this cell, usually signaled by this little red dot right up in the top right corner. So you know that this is the cell where you should be in. And then you want to go up to edit requests. I'm going to press that. And here we can see that this box pops up. And this recalls the previous search that we made, or rather the request that we made that gave us all this data. So now let's say that we want to modify this a little bit. So we don't want the Swedish OMXS 30. Instead, we want to look at all the stocks that are contained within the Swedish OMXS 30. So we're going to go ahead and press Find Series now. I'm going to clear all here and choose a single category when I'm searching. Go into Equity Indices. And now I'm going to try to find the market. So I'm going to find the Swedish market right here. Should be quite far down. There we have it. So I'm going to press that. And you can choose more options right here, but I'm going to stop with this because this is enough. Because the OMXS 30 pops up, this is what I want. I'm going to press it, then I'm going to scroll down. And here we can see that some additional information about the selected index comes up. So for example, I can see which type of data this index can be plotted in. So it can be plotted in a price index, for example, or the high prices and the opening prices and so forth. But now recall that I was interested in finding the constituents of this index, meaning all the stocks that are contained within the OMXS 30. In order to find that, I will press this button right here that says 30 constituents. So I'm going to go ahead and press that. And now all the stocks that are contained within the OMXS 30 pops up. In order to select them all at once, instead of checking every single box, I'm going to press this one right up here that selects them all. And then I'm going to press Use. So this puts every single stock right up here in this box, and they're all now selected. So now let's also modify the type of data that we want to use. So let's remove the previous search and go into data types. All right, so let's look at this one, press search. All right, so let's say that we want to look at dividend yields, for example, and let's keep looking at the price index that we have been looking at previously. So I'm going to check these two boxes, right? And then I'm going to press Use to use them both. There we go. So now they're now inserted in the data types box here. And since I loaded a previous search, the dates are still here, so I don't need to change that. and the settings I used in the previous search are also still here. So I'm going to be happy with this search, but there are a lot more options that you can choose from here if you want to modify your search even more, and if you want to change the way your data is presented. But I'm going to keep it like this, and we're going to press submit and see what happens. Right, so now we can see that exactly what I asked for popped up. Not such a big surprise. So we have Atlas Copco's dividend yield and the price index right here, exactly what we asked for. And you can see that we got plenty of data now, all the 30 constituents of the Stockholm OMXS30 index displayed. So this is exactly what we asked for. And so the edit request tool is very powerful if you want to change the data, but not changing the entire data set that you have downloaded. So if I, for example, want to remove Atlas Copco from the search, I can do that by just pressing the edit request and removing the search for Atlas Copco. And it will be removed, but all the other ones will be saved. So it's a very handy tool. Now, of course, there are many things that you can change in the time series request. So I only changed the stocks that I wanted, but you can also, of course, change the dates and so forth. And there's one last thing that I want to show you in the time series request. So you can see here, when I pop this box open, it initially says start date -2 years. So instead of using the start and end date that I have selected in my own Excel spreadsheet, you can choose to take data from exactly 2 years ago by typing -2 years. And you could also make an interval, have -1 year, for example. There we go. And this would also, of course, work. So we can do the OMX, and we can have the price index, daily currency. Yes, so we're going to press submit now. There we go. So now we have it from exactly, or as close as possible, 2 years ago, which was the 27th of March. Today's the 29th. All right, so that concludes it for the basic introductory for the time series analysis tool, or the time series request tool rather, in the Thomson Reuters data stream. Okay, so next up, we're going to be taking a look at the deal screener here under the button Thomson Reuters. So we have moved away from data stream, and now we're going to look at stuff like mergers and acquisitions and IPOs, for example, new entries to the market, that is. So this is not going to be historical stock data that the majority of you probably will want to use. So let's have a look at this now. So you want to start by pressing the deal screener up here under the Thomson Reuters button. And this rather complicated page shows up, but let's take it step by step. So let's say that I want to have a look at equity deals, for example. So under issue type, for example, I will be looking at IPOs. So I'm going to type in IPOs here. And I really recommend that you go through this on your own and have a look at all these information dialog boxes that pops up, because here you can see more detailed information than what I can go through in this introductory video. So have a look here and look at your specific need of what you need to filter out. So this is just going to be a demonstration example. So perhaps I want to look at the Swedish stock market. So I'm going to type OMX, never mind. I should be typing it right up here, I think. OMXS. There we go. That's better. And let's also type in the nationality. Sweden. And you can see, as I've been typing in these different search alternatives, it's been showing me how many search results we have. So initially I had 84,000, then we had 124, and now we have 100 after I have filtered down. So I recommend that you filter down so that you don't have 1,000 or plus options. So use these filters to find a good amount of data. So let's say that I'm happy with this now, that I want to go ahead and press run screener. Right, so now I can see all the data that I have achieved here, right here. And let's say that I perhaps want to add something to this report. I want to add another column. up here. So I'm going to press build report. And now here we can see all the things that my report is going to contain. For example, the issuer name, that is the name of the company. In this case, we were looking at IPOs, if you remember. Let's say that I want to see the transaction status, if it's gone through or not. Then I'm going to press transaction status, and I'm going to press 0. Then you can see the transaction status went down here. So now this is also in my report. And there are many things that you can add. And as I said earlier, I recommend that you have a look at these on your own to see what fits your specific need. So you're going to press OK here. All right. So let's say that we're happy with this now. Exactly. So we have the transaction status here. We've got a few that are announced, rumored. We got some that are live. So this might be a good filter for our data type if we're looking at IPOs, new entries to the Swedish stock market. Okay, so now how do I get this into Excel? Well, this is quite simple. So you want to press insert right down here. And you can see that I've selected a box here in Excel, as we did with the data stream. So we press insert, and then you're just going to press insert again. So you can close down this box now. And now you can see that the data we just saw in the icon pop-up has transferred into Excel. Right, oh, that's a misclick. So now all the data that we just saw has been transferred into Excel, and it's ready to be analyzed and used. So last but not least, I want to emphasize that this deal screener tool right here is a very powerful tool, which has a lot of possibilities if this is the type of data that you're interested in. But all the options of this tool goes beyond the scope of this introductory tutorial. So I would recommend that you would sit down with your group together and have a look at this tool together in order to find the type of data and the options that suits your group's needs the best. And if you happen to stumble upon any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me, Alexander, or any of my TA colleagues at the finance section at SBS. You will find our email addresses under the page called Amanuenser on SBS's webpage. And with that said, I would like to say thank you for joining me in this little Eikon tutorial video in Microsoft Excel, and good luck with all your theses. Thank you.